Awesome. Hi, everyone. Good. Is it still morning? So, good morning. I think
Yes.
it's only 11. So, good morning to everyone. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us and to not only learn about Entrepreneurs Forever as a program, but also to, enrich your life and learn how you can use personal branding to your benefit and to the benefit of your business. I am going to share my screen. So, give me just one moment. And I hope everyone can see that, correct? Yes?
Yes,
Okay,
we can. Hmm.
perfect. So I would like to just quickly introduce Entrepreneurs Forever for those that do not know about us. Entrepreneurs Forever is a nonprofit organization based right here in Pittsburgh, but we are a national organization and we are all about just connecting small business owners with their peers. We do this through a facilitated peer group experience, a long term facilitated peer group experience, because our program is 3 years long. We want you to be technically with your fellow entrepreneurs forever, but you meet virtually for 1 month. I mean, virtually for 1 day out of each month for 2 hours. And the nice thing is that Shauna, our presenter for today, has been a long term member of the Entrepreneurs Forever program. So I'm sure she will talk about her experiences. We are coming to you today because we have openings in our groups right now. Due to the generous funding of the SBA and Senator Casey's Community Projects Grant, we have availability for our peer group experience. So we want to make sure that we are opening that up to you all. The way Entrepreneurs Forever sits in the overall entrepreneurial ecosystem is, again, long-term peer learning. So we are not an individual mentorship program. We don't give out business capital, and we are not a startup accelerator or your traditional business education program. This is all about connecting you with like-minded peers and like-minded business owners so that you can support each other. So this is why we could have such great partnerships with the African American Chamber and other wonderful organizations around the city and beyond. Our peer groups are really making a difference for small business owners. In less than 2 years, our members have seen a increase in their revenue by 80%. They have 2 times their owner's compensation and they have the opportunity to hire new staff. So that's what we're looking for. We want to see that you are increasing your revenue. We want to help you increase your owner's compensation because we all know we want more money in our pockets. And we want to make sure that you are supported by staff if that's what you choose to do. So, without further ado, I will turn this over. I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to turn it over to Shauna to get started with the actual program.
Hi. Okay. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much, Tamara. Thank you so much, Sean, for having me today. I'm excited to be here. I just want to say real quick, thank you for E4Ever. Before I even go into my full introduction for the program, there were some things that you said that are like, it's almost like a aha moment for me, which is what we talk about in our peer-to-peer meetings. I have grown so much with being a member of E4Ever, and I think about where I started at and where I'm at now. Like, first of all, the fact that I'm even on this call, and when I first started with E4Ever, I had a store. Well, I still have my store, but I was just now starting my store. I was going through something personal, which was crazy, and I was second guessing every move that I made. And one of the girls was like, just come to the meeting, just come to the meeting. And that meeting literally changed my whole mindset. I went from being stuck, which is where if you, I don't know if anybody has ever done any of my classes, but I always talk about taking small business owners from stuck to six figures. At that moment, I was stuck. And now seeing your statistics and seeing how my income has grown, like I think that peer to peer is so important, especially in entrepreneurship, because if it wasn't for those moments that I was stuck, I probably would still be kind of trying to figure out like what I need to be doing with business. So with that being said, I'm gonna just go ahead and get started because like that was like eye opening for me to see those statistics because it was great. But I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. Bear with me, please, because I don't use Teams. So I'm going to go ahead and share. Where is...
Shauna, for me, it was the controls were at the top of the screen.
Yeah, but I have it set. I'm gonna have to use my this is what I mean about. Give me 1 second, y'all, because this is definitely. I'm going to share my the Canva and then go in and do it that way. Can you guys see my screen?
We can.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes.
Which one? You see the
Yes.
Okay.
Benefits of
brand
brand or consistency.
Yep. Now let me get to the front of it. All right, here we go. So you're going to see, because I guess I was supposed to upload a file. I'm sorry. So welcome to the power of your online brand image. This is near and dear to my heart, mainly because I have taken the time to see and do some case studies to understand like how people think, how your customers think when it comes to how they view you online. As an old celebrity stylist, I didn't realize how you showed up for your brand made a difference online, because again, everybody's not heavy into social media and all these different things. But I have literally seen where people have not been able to get business, all kind of other things, because their brand was not properly set up online. Quick introduction of myself. I am a brand success strategist. I have a firm that is based out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It's Shauna Solomon and Associates. We have about 12 employees, which is crazy again, because when I first started with eForever, it was just me and an assistant. I also have a store, Shauna Solomon, the Shauna Solomon Collection, which the warehouse is also based out of Monroeville, PA. I've had that since 2005. eForever has been vital for both of those. I actually grew the firm. This is based out of, it's in like the Garfield area, being in eForever and kind of walking through some of those struggles and those different things that I dealt with growing that, being able to have that peer-to-peer with peer-to-peer with peer-to-peer conversations with eForever, my group, which is called Women Rock, allowed me to grow in a way that I never would have expected. I've been in Houston for about a year. I'm just able to live a life that I never would have expected without being able to have the proper support behind me. So with all that being said, this is going to be super informal. I'm going to go ahead and dive in with the power of your brand image. If you have any questions or anything, please just put them in the chat and I'll come back to them. Go ahead and get started.
Shauna, before you get started, if you hit present at the top of your Canva, it may make the screen a little bit larger for you. There you go.
Did it do it?
Yep,
But it's telling me it's telling me to stop sharing though. Is that, I can't.
Nope, I can see it.
Okay, you can still see it?
Nope, it looks good.
Here we go. All right, I'm so sorry, y'all. I'm usually on Zoom, so this is a little technical thing that I haven't gotten used to yet. All right, so understanding the importance of your brand image, especially for small business. I will say before we get started as well, is this does not, when I'm talking to you about your brand image, this is kind of like the beginning, so that you can get into position, so you can properly position yourself so that you can increase your sales, which is why we're in business, so that you can maybe collab. It does not mean that you have to have a whole bunch of followers. I have gotten brand collabs just based off of how I've shown up for myself on my pages. So today we're going to talk about why is brand image crucial for the success of your business, and how does brand perception influence consumer behavior. This is huge because we have seen where clients have come into us, to my firm, and they're like, I'm not making any sales. Why am I not making any sales? and we go to do an audit on their business, and the first thing we see is how they're not set up properly on social media. There's like nothing is actually showing. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. So understanding the importance of your brand image is your brand is essential for brand image is essential for small businesses because it helps differentiate you from your competitors. A lot of times, especially in this day and age that we're in, with so many people being entrepreneurs, you probably have some competition. Which the goal for you though is to build credibility and trust with your customers so that they can purchase from you. A strong brand image communicates the values, the personality, and the quality of your business. You want to be able to attract clients. You want to have that loyalty. And again, you really want to drive revenue and growth for your business, right? We're all in business to make money and to grow. How does brand perception influence consumer behavior? Have you ever, and I know you probably have you ever been scrolling and you're on, I'm gonna just say Facebook, and you seen something that you didn't agree with, and they may have had a business, and now you're like, I'm not sure if I'm gonna go ahead and pull the trigger to buy that, right? So this is why you have to make sure that wherever you are at, whatever it is you are doing, that your brand image aligns with who you're trying to target so that you can actually get those sales. A negative perception can deter customers, lead to a loss of sales, which we hear often, and it can also damage your brand's reputation. A few years back, there was a young girl who, this is a quick example, she had posted her views on when all the stuff was going on with all the political stuff. And her audience was actually a lot of those people. And she lost over 50% of her income because she decided to post that information on her page. That is a part of your brand image. You are a part of your brand image. So you want to consider things like your target audience and how they are going to be affected if you put out certain things that they may not agree with. Go back up again. I'm sorry. So it's crucial for you to actively manage and make sure that you have a favorable brand perception to drive a positive consumer behavior. What you don't want to happen is if somebody, even somebody does decide to buy from you, that they are then every encounter that they have with you is going to turn into a negative one. Example, somebody buys something from you and they're not satisfied. In this day and age, a lot of people are running to do reviews. But if you have set the standard on how your image is and how you present your brand, 9 times out of 10, they're going to come to you first before they do that. You do not want that to be you don't want to do anything that's going to negatively impact how you handle business. One of the ways that you can do that is by crafting a compelling brand story. I don't know. Let me see something. Is there a way for me to see the chat? Because I'm a little interactive.
There is a chat button. There's no questions or anything in the chat right now.
Okay, so what I was getting ready to ask is, is there anybody on here who can identify what their brand's unique story and the values are? You could just put yes or put yes in the chat or no. We're going to talk about some techniques for storytelling and how to incorporate your brand story into marketing materials so that it can create that trusted brand image. Still working on yours. Okay. And something just to think about, when you get the worksheet at the end, it's actually going to ask you about like who your audience is, and it's going to talk about your mission and your values. This is just kind of information just to kind of help you get to thinking about what is going to make you, what makes you unique and what's going to make them trust you differently. Okay, how can small businesses identify and articulate your unique story? Small businesses can identify their brand story by reflecting on their origin, values, their mission, and a problem they aim to solve. And I like to get super creative with this. One of the things that I always said that I said at the beginning was my pitch used to be, I assist small business owners from going from stuck to six figures. They usually ask me how after that, but that's the problem that I'm solving. I want to get them out of being stuck where they are at, and I need to specifically get them to six figures. Can they reach more? Probably, but the problem that I'm solving is that they are not making any money, right? So you want to be kind of super detailed with that. Consider what sets you apart from competitors and resonates with their target audience. For me, what makes our firm different is we are more hands-on. A lot of what we do is we don't just give you the information and just say, hey, just go figure this out yourself. We actually walk you through each step, and there's some accountability there. But you want to have that, and on top of the fact that I have the experience, the reality experience as well. That's another thing that sets me apart as well. But you also want to make sure that you resonate with your audience. So one of the ways that I resonate is because I've been there. I've been at a space where I have had everything, lost it, and gained it back because there were certain things that I didn't do. So I come from that angle. Which also establishes a different emotional connection that allows them to trust me. And it also allows me to be relatable. So you want to make sure that you are resonating with your audience, that you are establishing an emotional connection, and that you are being relatable. Being yourself will always put you ahead of everybody else. Anytime that I log onto social media, I can literally tell who is being genuine and who is just trying to sell me a course just to make some money. I'm always going to go for the latter because I want somebody that I can relate to. So you want to make sure that you are being authentic. The whole vulnerability part of it is, I feel like that's like a case by case basis. Sometimes being vulnerable, you have to be careful with that because it can be a negative or a positive. But it also depends on what it is that you're going to be, what it is that you're trying to get your people to do, hitting those pain points. There may be some times where you have to hit a pain point that opens you up, but just be prepared to close that as well. So I try not to be too vulnerable, but you also want to make sure that you have empathy, because those are key elements that help you build the trust and forge emotional connections with your audience. So again, you'll hear me talk a lot about building trust. I'm all for building community and building trust with your followers. If you don't do that, it's going to be almost impossible for you to sell to them. All right, let me go down. All right, and how can you integrate your brand story into your marketing materials? And I have so much information, so I try to condense this as much as I can. So I'm sorry if it seems like I'm not jumping, but it's a lot of information, but I try to condense this as much as I could so that you guys could understand it. Making sure that your messaging is consistent. So if you have, how many of you are service-based, and how many, if you're service-based, put service. If you are product, put product. Either way, you want to make sure that your messaging is consistent. There is service-based. Okay, service. Either way, so and I'm going to bring up eForever. Like eForever, their mission has always been to assist small business owners with growing through peer-to-peer. So whenever you go onto their onto any of their social media pages, they're always talking about that within their brand, right? So their messaging is consistent. Their storytelling, the way that they tell their stories, how they bring some of the service and food, how they bring some of their members up to have the same conversation. Like that is visually storytelling what it is that, and keeping their messaging consistent. Incorporating your storytelling into product packaging. We're going to talk about logos and things like that, colors. That's another way, that's another part of your brand image. That purple color, it's like it helps, it's royalty. There's certain things that come behind that color. So that is also how they tell a story within their logos and their colors as well. We're going to talk about that in a second. I'm trying to see how many people. Food service. All right, so here we're talking about your logo. So your brand image, another way for you to build a powerful brand image is making sure that your logos and your colors align with the audience that you are trying to attract. Has anybody ever done a psychology of color? Put yes or no in the comments. How did I know you did, Tamara? Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so one of the things that we get a lot of clients who come to us and they already have their logo, they already have their name, things like that that they have already put in place, and they're like, okay, I don't understand why this is not working. And then we go to do our audit, and then you see this, the colors or don't match the audience, the audience that they're trying to attract. The logo is just completely off. So you want to make sure that your logo actually matches. Okay, that's okay. You want to make sure that your logo attracts the right audience. What do you think of when you see red, yellow, and blue? And somebody just put that in. What do you think that you? Anybody? So I instantly think daycare, right? You think children. So if you have a business and you use those same colors and you are not around children, a lot of times that is going to change how your business is viewed, right? And it's something that is just done subconsciously. So you want to kind of make sure again that your logo and your colors are matching that, so that you take, again, thinking about building. Oh, where'd it go? Thinking about building a powerful brand image, you want to make sure that you are standing powerful in your brand before you even present it. And that's where this starts at, with your colors, with your logos, making your business stand out in ways that others can't. For those who have done the brand, goodness. For those who have done the psychology of color, how did that affect how you decided what colors you decided to use? Kim's typing. Okay. And as you're typing, I'm gonna keep going. Your brand's visual should represent the essence and values of the business and aligning with your mission, vision, and target audience. I needed food colors. Yes. What about your mission and your values? Has anybody done a mission statement, a vision? Health. Okay. Okay. So when I first started with my store back in 05, the name of the store was called Exotic Hush. The colors were black, pink, and white. Now, I did not have half of the information back then that I do now. But however, about maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I was talking to Donna Baxter, and she was out of town, and she said, "I seen your brand in Atlanta," and I'm like, "There's no way you." I said, "There's no. I've been here. I was in Pittsburgh," and she was like, "No, I seen a Hush boutique with the black and the hot pink," and in her mind, that's what made me stand out, was the hot pink, the black. So she felt like whenever she seen black, pink, and white, that was my brand. It was a completely different brand, but that meant that I had done a great job with making sure that I stood out differently than other boutiques at the time. So that's what you want that's the same thing that you want to do with your colors. It's the same thing that you want to do with your logo. I keep clicking. I keep clicking like it's Zoom. Okay, so you want to make sure that you have consistency and that all of your visual branding matches on all of your platforms, right? So when it comes to, does anybody have a brand kit? If you have a brand kit, just put yes in the chat, no in the chat. That's one of the main things that you need to build. Okay, no. That's how you build consistency. With a brand kit, it gives you the feel of your business. We talk about your fonts. It should have your colors on there. Everything that you can literally submit to any graphic designer, to your website designer, anybody that is doing anything for you, you want to make sure that you send off this brand kit. When you send off the brand kit, it allows them to make sure that everything is unison on all platforms. You ever see somebody on social media and it looks like they have like 50, 11 colors all over the place, and you're like, what are they doing today? What is this? That's the confusion. You don't want to have brand confusion. You want to make sure everything is in alignment. I do have, I was going to show you guys one of my clients. Her name is Taylor Ford, and her colors are white and pink. And we recently did an upgrade on her social media stuff, and she actually got picked up from a software company all the way in Miami because they liked her visuals. They didn't even get a chance to go into her website or anything, but they seen her visuals were impressed by that. So that's why it's super important to make sure that everything is consistent across all your social media channels, and your brand kit will help you do that. Using templates. How many of you are used to Canva? Y'all can see I love Canva. But if you can, make sure that you're using some of these simple, yeah, oh my goodness, yes. Making sure that you are using some of the same type of templates. You can even have a graphic designer maybe create you like 6 to 9 of them so that it's being consistent across all platforms. And when I say just started, okay. And actually you can use Canva if you go to the getting better at using Canva and templates. Yes, if you actually go to the search button on Canva, you can actually create your own brand kit. You just want to make sure that you're being consistent with whatever it is that you're putting on this brand kit across all of your platforms. And this also includes Google. And it does say, consider working with graphic designers or branding experts to assist you with this if you are having any. And if it's something that you don't want to do, don't be afraid to just say, hey, I need help with this. There's so many graphic designers out there that'll help you with templates or with helping you get your brand kit together. You can use Fiverr. Fiverr, I think, honestly, Fiverr, my initial logo was only $7. My first brand kit was $10 because I needed somebody else to do something that I wasn't ready to take the time to do. So don't be afraid to spend a little bit, and it could be, like I said, that was $7, $10, just to get some professional advice on how to make sure that your brand is standing out from everybody else's. All right. It also builds brand consistency. Now, the reason why I brought him up is because this is Validated Brand. He has actually worked with me with the Black Label Market. Anywhere that I see him, I always see his black, his tan, and his cognac colors. So like Donna, I immediately think that it's him. When you build in the benefits of built-in brand consistency, it's that brand recognition that we talked about before. It establishes that credibility and trust, because I don't see him now throwing in red or green or anywhere. Like it's literally the same when you go onto his website, when you go onto his Instagram pages, and when you see him in person, you know that he's serious about his business. It reinforces his brand values and positioning. He is a luxury streetwear brand, and it also enhances brand loyalty. My colors are red, gold, and 2 shades of red. Okay. And here are a few of my preferred tools. I use Canva, Trello, and Binder. Canva I use to design almost everything. Like, just like if you sing that Canva, you'd be like, oh my goodness. My Trello board is where I kind of have all of my, like my brand kit, my mission, my values, all of that should also be somewhere, because you, again, that should all align. It doesn't matter what platform you're on, it doesn't matter what it is that you're doing, all of that should always be the same and resonate, especially when it comes to when you get into content creation and all of that. You want to make sure it all aligns. And then Binder is where I have all of my logos, my any professional photos, any templates that I've had done, any of the like Facebook covers. That didn't really go heavy into that, but you want to make sure that your Facebook covers are not just like random covers. People should not have to be your friend to see what it is that you're doing, and then making sure that all of your stuff is aligned, especially if you have a business page. How are we on time, Tamara?
We are at 11:35. I believe this goes into 12:15, but we probably want to
Okay.
wrap up by 12.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Okay. So, and in leveraging social media is my thing. I absolutely love it. If you can build brand consistency on social media, I'm sorry, not brand consistency, a powerful brand image on social media, this can lead to so much more. Again, it increases your sales. I have gotten different collabs with it. I have gotten brand deals, and I do not have a lot of followers. It's all about building trust and showing up for your brand a certain way. So if you look on my page, like literally, you'll see the same colors, you see the same type of content on each platform, and it helps. So you want to make sure you actively engage. So not just posting on social media, but you also want to make sure that you are actively engaging. This also shows them that you are. It goes back to the beginning as far as being authentically you. You don't want to have bots or anything, or you don't just want to leave your people hanging. Like, you want to be able to show that you are serious about your business. Making sure that you are posting relevant content. That's another way that we have seen where people have lost some of their clients. Have you ever seen a business page where they're talking all business, and then sometimes you see where they're talking about personal, or you might see them out drinking or something like that? It's that drinking post that you did where you could lose a client, right? So you want to make sure that it stays consistent. If you want to do something, or you want to have that type of content, I personally suggest having a completely different account, and probably even making sure that you that one is private, because you want to make sure that your business one is public. Making sure you're interacting with your follower, you're participating in conversations. These are the things that help you build a positive brand presence. If you don't comment and somebody comments on your post, that messes that it literally does. It doesn't help the algorithm. So you can't have a strong presence if you don't have one at all. So you want to make sure that you are interacting with people when they're showing up for you. And the best practices for building your online brand image is maintaining consistency in your branding elements, such as your profile picture, your cover photo, and your bio. Bios are huge. You want to make sure that your bio has some of your keywords in it that resonate with your audience. You don't want to just have I sell, so I can put like I sell clothes, or I've seen some bios. It's like, okay, what else? What else is going to make me buy from you? So you want to think about your unique value, all of those things, and try your best to get that into into your bio. You usually only have like 110 characters or so, but utilize that to be able to attract those people, your audience. I'm sorry. Creating visual and appealing, engaging in content. This goes to the type of content that you're posting. Again, this is another way that you can defer somebody from working with you, is not having clear photos, or having photos that are crooked. Like, we've seen it all. So make sure that, and there's so many editing apps. You can edit in Canva, you can edit in CapCut. Um, Even if you feel like it's a bad photo, some of the most important things that I just tell you to do, something as simple as just wiping off your phone. We see a lot of clients who you can't even see their content because they haven't wiped off their camera. Using hashtags strategically. This is so that you can increase your visibility and increase your reach, and making sure that you are using hashtags that resonate with your audience, not just any hashtag, but the ones that are going to keep you in the niche that you are in. So if you're selling body butters, you don't want to hashtag music something, I don't know, but you want to make sure that you are using hashtags that are relevant to what it is that what your business is. And again, back to monitoring and responding to comments. We see a lot of people who are just posting and kind of walking away, and that does not help you build an online presence. That just kind of keeps you where you're visual, but it doesn't help you build anything, because you're not going to stay up on the algorithm. Okay, and you also want to make sure that all of your links. So when we do our audits, this is probably number 2 on our list, is none of the links working. So if you go to Google, we go to Instagram, anywhere that we go, you want to make sure that the links that you post are actually links that work. I'll go to click on something to buy. I'm a shopper. I love shopping. So if I go to see if I get as far enough to click on a link, I need that link to work. If I click on a link and it takes me nowhere, I'm instantly going somewhere else. So you want to make sure that all of your links are active and working. Try to stay away from long links. Use shorter links. Try to stay away from links that are not branded, right? So if your business is Lux Lashes, you don't want to have luxlashes.shopify@shopify.com. Nope, let's go ahead and buy that domain name at luxlashes.com. And then you also want to make sure that you are leveraging Google. This is a step that is often skipped. You should be able to search your business name and you should pop right up. Google is an amazing free resource. It used to be Google My Business. Now I believe it's Google Maps. You can literally set up your profile. Again, the fact that it's free, I'm going to always tell you guys to utilize all the free resources. Google, you can upload your most, I'll say your best photos, your professional photos. You can put as much information as you in your bio on there. You can, of course, any addresses, your phone numbers, all of those things need to be the same there as well. And you can also get reviews. This is a perfect opportunity to build that presence. If somebody is going to Google you, chances are that's the first thing that you want Google to be able to show up first. All right, and then we already talked about maximizing the impact of your online bio and your other digital profiles. And all of this should align. So what you have on your Google profile should also align with what you have on Facebook, should also align with what you have on Instagram, and just doing a Google search in general. If you has anybody ever Googled yourself? Yes, no, in the chat. Yes. So I've actually had people Google themselves and something completely different came up. And they're like, well, why did that happen? Because you're not present enough. Another thing that I want you to keep in mind, you guys know how when you download a photo and you see all of those numbers, and it's like all these numbers and it's like .jpeg. Always change that. If you have, especially if you're using a photographer, they should always have your name or something listed there. If not, and it's a whole bunch of numbers, make sure that you change that, because those are things that pick up in that background when you're thinking about SEO and showing up on Instagram. I mean, not on Instagram, on Google. I get tags often on, like I'll Google myself and I'll be like, well, why is this person showing up? Because if I was at an event or something, if one of my events or something like that, they tagged my photo was automatically tagged. So you want to make sure that you are doing that as well. All right. And that's it. I think I did that pretty good. That was fast. So I'm going to stop there. I'm going to thank you guys. There is a checklist that is going to go out to help you. I know that was a lot of information, a little bit of time, but I hope that it's helpful. If you have any questions, we can get to those. The checklist, I believe, will go out. I'll have Sean send out the checklist. The checklist is going to help you grow your presence as well. It's just going to be some of the things, go over some of the things that we talked about today. Does anybody have any questions? It could be specific, it can be general. Ask the way we have time.
Why don't we have Tamara finish us up and then take questions for both you about the content and about our program, if that's okay?
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, that works out perfectly. So let me go ahead and I'm going to share my screen again. Let's see if it will let me do that over top of yours, Shauna.
Yeah, I
Okay.
stopped sharing mine. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Everyone can see mine?
Yes.
Yes? Okay, great. So again, I just wanted to come in first. Thank you, Shauna, for all of that information. It is a lot of information, but if we want to take our brands to the next level, I think that everything that you said was super important. I know not only do I work at Entrepreneurs Forever, but I am also a small business owner. So I know the importance of having a consistent brand and making sure that you're showing up in person and online. So thank you for all that information. But to talk about the Entrepreneurs Forever program, which is kind of sponsoring this session, again, we are a monthly 2-hour meeting that takes place on Zoom. It's a group of 10 to 12 like-minded peers. You have a professional facilitator. It is structured and unstructured time. So you will talk about, your 30-day updates, what's going on in your business. You'll do some some issue processing, but you also just have time to talk to each other. So that's what we mean by structure and unstructured. We're going to do updates, accountability, and you're going to learn elements on specific topics. So this is a great example of a topic that may come up amongst your peers that you guys can kind of work through as a team. So we are not a networking group. We're not a casual drop-in group, and we are not a leads program. And another thing we're not is a classroom teaching program. All of the educational components are all driven by the needs of your particular group. So if you want to talk about online marketing, if you want to talk about your QuickBooks or your P&L or how to use Canva, that's all on you in your group. And we're just here to help and facilitate that. Okay, so the important thing for me is I want to bring as many of you into the fold as possible. So we have some funded seats. Our seats are usually have a price tag around $3,300 or so per member. And we have been very blessed and fortunate to have Senator Casey and SBA fund these seats for you. So I have a QR code on the screen. Please take a picture. I will also send this link to Sean so he could distribute along with Shauna's materials. But take a picture of this. There's an easy online application. You'll go through a discovery session, and then you'll just talk about what times may work for you to become a member and get into a group. I think that's all I have. But Shauna, as you're taking maybe some questions, maybe you could talk about why you decided to be a member of the Entrepreneurs Forever group. And you kind of alluded to some of the benefits, but I want to make sure it's great for me to say be a member, but Shauna, I think it's a little bit different coming from you because you are a member and you are a part of the Pittsburgh business community. I think that you probably have a better perspective and can really maybe inspire some of the business owners that are online here to get involved.
Absolutely. One of the reasons why I talked about like why I joined initially. I had a friend who was just always talking about it, and I needed something. I didn't know what, but I knew I needed some support. And being an only child, I grew up with a whole bunch of entrepreneurs. I didn't have nobody that I could have a conversation with about my business who actually understood like the ups and downs, like when it comes to entrepreneurship. So that was one of the main reasons. But actually, once I got into it and the different things that I've learned, I never even, again, things that I didn't even think about within my business. So even now when it comes to like finances, when it came to the IRS, because we kind of grew together. So thinking about like taxes, there were so many things that I didn't know myself. And it was just an amazing, being able to sit and have these conversations is just like, it's amazing. how to put it into words is I just feel like it's something that to me, every small business owner should have. You should have like I have a squad. It's what we call our team is a squad. Every small business owner should have a support system that can help them get to the next level, regardless of where they are at within their business. You cannot do entrepreneurship alone. Every time we met, it was okay. Let's talk about where you are at now. What are your goals the next time? There was sometimes when I was like, I don't have no goals, but having the support system, like you can't give up right now. It made me keep going. Being able to see where I started from, and this is like a personal goal for me. I look back to see where I was at, even mentally. A lot of the stuff that I went through, being able to go back and see that and see where I am now, it's like, wow, like like the support helped me get from that stuck to where I am now. You can't just get that anywhere. You're not going to get that anywhere. Usually somebody's trying to sell you something. Like how you guys mentioned, like as far as the lead, there's none of that. It is genuine. Like we've built genuine friendships. We support each other. Like it's so much more than just the peer to peer. It's what you get. It's priceless on what you can get, especially since it's free. Like I just think that it's something that everybody should do. Everybody should have.
Well, thank you, Shauna, for explaining that. And I like to hear from our business owners because that's the heart of the program. That's why we're here. That's what we do. That's why we partner with such great organizations. So thank you, Doris and Sean, for allowing us to take some time to talk to your members because we all work together to
Yes.
support the business owners in our area and in our region. And it takes all of us to do so. Are there any questions for Shauna about business image? I think some of the information was so helpful. I know when I was building out my business, I worked with a my professional development business. I worked with a branding expert and we went over like, what are some of the keywords that you want people to get
Yes.
from you? You know, do you want, I said professional, poised, because I do etiquette classes, right? So they were like, okay, here are some colors, that say that. Here are some fonts that say that. They said, what kind of customers do you want? I said, customers with money, right? So I said, and they were like,
Yeah.
well, your brand needs to look like a
These are the
corporate
that
brand,
part.
right? Your brand needs to look like money if you want to
Yep.
attract universities or financial services. And you want to charge what you want to charge, you have to have the complete package. So I think what Shauna was bringing to us was so helpful because it makes us think like, how do we want to be seen in this world? And how do we want our customers to view us? And how can we craft that message so that it is clear to them that we are the people that they want to buy from, right?
Absolutely. Yes.
So
Yes. I
any
think that's
questions? Go ahead, Shauna.
I'm not to interrupt you. I think that it's one of those things that we kind of skip over in small business is the branding and the brand messaging so that you can properly position yourself. And then once they realize that there's no money being made, it's like, hey, okay, now I have to go back to this. And how you show up for your brand is like, to me, I feel like that should be one of those things that's like at front and center. Like you said, like if I can't say that I want to charge a 5-figure fee and I'm showing up looking like my logo, looking like I did my logo myself. And, the like you said, the fonts don't match. Like these are things that we don't think about. And a lot of times, like, and again, I got into business out of need. So initially I wasn't prepared for, I wasn't prepared properly is what I'll say. So it was when I did the rebrand and I'm like, okay, wait a minute, I'm rebranding. So even from Exotic Hush to the Shauna Solomon collection, Exotic Hush was black, hot, pink, and white. The Shauna Solomon collection is black and cream. Like completely different because and my clients also grew with me. So it's like I was attracting the different, I'm now attracting powerhouse women who are on the go. So they ain't thinking about hot pink or they don't, so it definitely makes a difference. So I'm hoping that the information that I gave you guys was helpful. If you have any questions, like definitely let's talk about it. I don't see any in there yet. And I did mention the psychology of color because one of the reasons I mentioned the psychology of color is, like Tamara said, is with having those conversations ahead of time, I probably would have never even named my first store Exotic Hush, but I didn't know, so there were so many things that I missed out on. Probably, I mean, I made good money, but there's probably a lot of things that I missed out on because I named the store Exotic Hush. Like a lot of, even when I had the store, the cops came because they thought that we were selling we were selling women. I ain't gonna say they thought we were selling women. They said there were naked women in our store. And I'm like, well, that's a lie because that's not what I sell. But it was that perception of what Exotic Hush was. So again, this is something that I feel like with small businesses, we need to have these conversations ahead of time to properly prepare our names, our colors, our graphic designs, like how the websites are set up. All of that is a part of your brand image.
Perfect. All right, I will turn it back over to the chamber for maybe some closing thoughts. Thank you again from Entrepreneurs Forever. And thank you to Shauna, one of our dear members, for taking the time out of her schedule to present for us. Doris?
And thank you, Tamara and Shauna, for the excellent work you've done today. I'm sure you've given everyone something to think about, how to package themselves, and the consistency that it requires for them to move forward.
Yes.
Please know that you will get an evaluation form from Sean Hicks. If you have copies of your online slides, Sean will send those out when they submit their evaluation.
Okay.
And that way we have feedback to give to you as well.
Okay. And there's
also
the checklist as well.
I'm sorry?
The checklist.
What about
there's a checklist did you guys get the checklist that I sent, or should I
Hold on, let me
resend it?
check.
Okay. There's a checklist that goes with the webinar.
And then Sabrina, you said you were having problems with the form?
Yes,
okay.
I went in to do, hi Shauna.
Hi.
I went in to use the QR code, and it has me spinning, I think because I'm on your mailing list, but not a member, it has me frozen.
Okay, so Deborah put into the chat just an email, info@eforever.org, and we'll get right back to you to make sure that you're all set up. Or you
Gotcha.
could also put your email address in the chat and I can make the connection directly, immediately.
I'll put that in right now.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Good. There's some upcoming programs with the chamber that I want to make sure I share with you. If you'd like to join us, you'll be able to, and Sean can send you more information. April 10th, we're doing what is required to do business with the Pennsylvania gaming industry. That should be interesting. Anyone that has the desire to do that. We've got an excellent members mixer that will take place on April 18th at the Center for Organ Recovery, which is out Route 28. They have been a longtime member of ours. They do good work. And it's an excellent opportunity for you to come, bring your business cards, network, and share your information. Our next Power Breakfast meeting is April 19th at the Rivers Club at 7:30. And Shahila Namani Stangler, she's the executive director for the Urban Redevelopment Authority, will be our speaker. Come learn her direction and what she's planning now that she is the executive director, so that you can not only network with the audience, but have an opportunity possibly to share some things with her. And finally, on April 24th, we have a workshop on building a relationship with Hewlett Properties. They are a developer here in our area that have moved from Canada to Pittsburgh. They've got new construction on apartment buildings. They're doing a 63 unit historic repurposing apartment. They've got a lot of good activities that if you can be part of their network, if you have a skill set that actually complements what they're doing for our members and they're doing for small businesses because their focus is really on small business. You'll be thrilled with what you learn about it. I think all of you had the opportunity to see Beretta Bay. His picture was up. Beretta, if you're not up, you can put yourself back up. He is our new president of the chamber. I invite you to contact him. Thank you. I invite you to contact him, learn more about the chamber and get involved. And please sign up for some of our programs, but most importantly, submit your evaluation to Sean and he will send you the checklist and you'll have some good information to work from. This concludes our workshop for today. Thank you again, Tamara, Shauna, for the work that you do. And thank you to Entrepreneurs Forever.
Thank
Have a
you.
wonderful Easter holiday and take care, everyone.
See you, Shauna. See you, Tamara.
See ya.
See you,
Thank
everyone.
you.
It's where